Underdog Daily with the Badge Bros, Jon and Nez hanging out. Black and Yellow Dog app, platform of the people, Underdog Fantasy. Yeah, man, fun weekend there. Crazy weekend, crazy end to the late slate games. We were joking around in the Discord in the morning there that it truly did not matter if you're going to be winning the slate at 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m., whatever, because those afternoon games were gonna hit, and they sure effing did. As it was a crazy sweat experience. I'm not going to lie on Sunday there with just how much happened in that last isolated window of time of 33 points from the Broncos in the fourth quarter. Call it the last 9, 10, whatever minutes of that. And then the overlap that there was still 4 minutes left in the third quarter of the Dallas game at the same time that there was like 2 minutes left in that. And then somehow they ended at the same time and nothing really changed and the Broncos stuff went crazy. It was just a wild sweat experience if you were watching the games and following along with the contest on Sunday.
Yeah, that was a wild late slate. Probably one of the craziest late slates that we have had in a while, man. That was that. I mean, I was not prepared for the Bo Nix fourth quarter, dude. That was crazy. That was crazy, dude. That looked like, yeah, that looked sharp until it didn't. I had a decent week 7. Almost had a really crazy week 7, but we'll take it. We'll take it. We had some good calls though, man. Like these games, we kind of do the same song and dance every Monday, but the games are hard, and all you can try to do is run good in these spots. Do your homework and run good. But like I feel like we were like on top of a lot of these spots, other than like the crazy bonanza that was the Broncos fourth quarter.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, we'll go through some of our own portfolio and some of that sort of stuff. I had a couple good sweats in the main there. I still think I should have won the main there, but we'll talk about it there. Community got home in a big way, man. 3 more Dog Bowl winners as part of the Deposit Kingdom. Mad love there. We got 1 on the program today. Unfortunately, the other 2 couldn't make it there. I know our guy Shilly took down the Wildcat. We know the Solver keeps crushing with our guy GSD4 there, but we'll talk through all that stuff. Yeah, Nez with the Gadsden. I always blank on this guy's name.
Starts with Aronde.
Aronde. God, I'm so bad at that. Yeah, the Aronde Godson call there. That was pretty sharp of you there, Nez. He was in my highest Dog Bowl lineup there at fractions of own. Snuck him into one of the BR ones too there, but it was just a nothing burger lineup. But yeah, man, I think a lot of people kind of feeling the effects of this in the chat here. Like after last night, just like can't wait for hoops tomorrow. Like just something to change the tide a little bit. Season's kind of in that little bit of a rut where it's kind of dragging on and we're kind of bouncing back and forth. So it'll be really fun to do hoops tomorrow. We got 2-game slate, unabated, and Justin Pham's going to hop on with us tomorrow to walk through that slate, to talk about what they're doing at unabated. So that'll be a really nice move there. But we got to talk about the Dog Bowl qualifier here. Oh, one more thing here. David continues to cook on the platform. Water is wet. David with another second place there. We'll bring up his lineup later, but he drops off 5 Badge Bros memberships at the door. Much love there, man. Much appreciated. Never expected. Love it. Thank you.
David, dude. Just the year of David is what more and more people are saying.
It's either David's year or it's this guy's year, Nez. So without further ado, let's bring this guy back onto the show here.
All right.
You ready for it?
Yes.
All right. 3, 2, 1. There he is. Golf claps all around. This is the quickest. I mean, Awen, you just continue to set records out here, dude. This is the quickest turnaround in the history of the program for a Winner Circle guest, because we ran Winner Circle on Wednesday, and now you're back on Monday. What the hell, dude?
It's good to be back.
Yeah,
I bet
no
it
doubt.
is.
Oh man. So last Wednesday, we talked about it, dude. You're the first person to qualify 3 out of 4, and then you joked around about having if everything goes as it went last year, that your second seat would be in week 10. Well, you turned the clock up and you played it on fast forward mode here and got the second seat this week. Congratulations, man. Truly sick, man. One of the best ever to do it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's always a win. It's always a win, dude. What is up with this sweat? You were telling me you were asleep. What happened?
Yeah. So after those 1 p.m. games, I was kind of tilted just from it was just some bad football to watch. But I realized I had one team, which is the one that got second, that still had Knicks and Trey McBride still, and every other team was basically dead. And then so I was like, okay, I'll just watch a little bit, and so start off with the Cardinals game, Packers game. It was kind of slow, and then I was watching a bit of the Giants game as well when it started, and they were down like 19-0 or something like that, and then it was brutal. Knicks wasn't doing really much, so I was like, I'm so tired because I spent basically all of Saturday and Sunday drafting. That decided to knock out, woke up, got in my car because I had to make a drive. I didn't even check my phone, and then I saw like a bunch of tied messages. I was like, pretty cool to check it after that.
wow, dude. You didn't even go check the app after you woke up from the nap. That truly sick after drafting all week, man. You're really good at falling asleep on Sunday afternoons, my friend.
Oh, it's brutal. I think that a lot of people, I mean, there's some small groups or something will know that I'm drafting at like 3 a.m. or like 4 a.m. Especially if I'm doing like cash games too, like people in the cash game streets. A small group of people, but they'll know I'm like grinding all the time. So usually, by the time Sunday 4 o'clock hits and like all the drafts are basically done, I think I can nap for a couple hours before doing the Sunday night football, PTPs and stuff like that. So it's kind of routine. Unless I have like a big sweat, then I'll stay awake for it. But for that one, I was like, oh, it's so over. That Bo Nix was crazy.
Yeah, I'll say. Did you end up autoing any of the dog bowls this week?
A lot of them I had to do overnight, so it wasn't necessarily autoed, and I'm sorry for the people that had to deal with it, but basically like timed out a bunch. So I would say that it's like basically autoing, but yeah, I got into the drafts kind of late, so I wasn't really free all the time, so there was a lot of times where the clock just ran out.
Okay, right on, dude. I want to touch on something we didn't touch on last time, but you just brought it up because it was a pretty big part of the master class, and it is like an under discussed thing on the program. The cash games, dude. Like the cash games, just as like a secondary revenue stream, as a something that's more beatable than winning the large GPPs, like that sort of thing. What's your experience in playing the cash lobbies? Like, how many are you playing a week? Like that kind of thing, just to give people like a grasp of what like a true alpha grinder on the site looks like.
I think that for the most part, I think the only like truly grindable cash games would be the single gamers, just because you can auto it. I think there are some slates. It's really depends on the slate that some PTPs are, or like those type of games, those 2 gamers or 3 gamers are autoable. But if you really want to sit there and you want to grind for it, I think you could definitely do it. I basically only like kind of sit in the high stakes one because it's just less break.
Yeah.
So those are kind of worth the time. But it also kind of depends if there's like really nothing on the slate. Like there's no baseball anymore, pretty much. I have more time to throw into these like late slate or early slate cash games. I would say obviously it's like a lot more volatile. So I think that if you want to play high stakes, because it's really just like a small difference. Like these tier breaks between the top guys. Like if you're playing cash game full slate on Sunday,
Yeah.
it's like maybe the edge is worth it, but there's just so much variance that you really, if you're okay stomaching it, then go ahead and play it. But I would say if you're gonna do cash games, kind of stick to those smaller slates.
Okay.
That's my opinion. If you're not really open to having that much swing.
Sure. Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. I was just curious what what your take was it and what your angle. How many cash games do you normally play a week in tandem with the BR stuff?
Oh, I would say definitely a lot more. I think that compared to the amount of compared to NFL, if I play a certain amount, I would probably play 7 to 8 times as much in cash games over the week
Wow.
than just the Sunday, throughout the week.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Right on. Very cool. Yes, but as always, Egger states, yes, revenue stream. No. This app is for entertainment purposes only. Here. Yes.
So Awen, other than like we know you draft Kamara all the time. We know you draft Olave. They're on you. Of course, they're on the winning team here. But Bo Nix, in my opinion, is the big story. Was he a big part of your portfolio this week, or was he just somebody where you kind of took him at the end of drafts if you didn't really have anybody else to take?
I think that compared to the rest of the round 6 QBs, he was definitely kind of a smash. I think that I said this before that my highest exposure QB was Herbert, and that's just because like he has so many weapons and stuff like that, so it just made sense. And I had that where his ADP was. I think that the warp between the QBs and the positional players was there was a stark difference. But in terms of Bo Nix, I had let me check. Yeah, I had about like 5%, 7% of Bo Nix just because it just made sense to kind of get him in that round 6 tier.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we talked about how it was a low-key scroller's delight at the quarterback position for some of those Konami code upside kind of guys at the back end there. The Jackson Dart, the Bo Nix, the Justin Fields, like those kind of guys at the back end made a lot of sense. Was your plan to run Bo Nix naked the most of the time here?
Yeah, for sure. I didn't really have much sudden or anything like that.
Okay.
But it was also kind of worked out because I wasn't really taking the Denver running back.
You were sorry, say that again. You weren't really taking the Denver running backs?
No, I wasn't.
Yeah.
I didn't really have like any Dobbins teams. So.
Okay. Did you get 150 in this week? I know last week it was close. Did you get them in this week?
Yeah, I had a couple canceled, but I just kind of entered, and like I said, I kind of wasn't optimal for sure because I kind of had to let the clock run out, but I just entered it kind of late, so that's on me. But pretty much, yeah.
Right on, man. Yeah, for the audio listeners here, almost everyone 100% drafted in this one outside of Bo Nix. Bo Nix being the big separator with that 39.9 at the quarterback position this week. Bo Nix was 86% drafted. Then Judkins had the hat trick. Alvin Kamara had a 4.4 there. Chris Olave was a big separator. These were two of the top 3 scoring wide receivers on the slate with Olave and Devonta Smith, and then the high scoring tight end on the slate. Although I think Aranda Gatson outscored him when it was all said and done by like a fraction of a point or two there, but was drafted so infrequently that the Trey McBride was the guy you needed.
Yeah, Gatson was a 1.5 I think difference, but yeah, kind of made sense to stack him because if you were taking a lot of kind of like semi-naked Herb teams, because you would have Ladd, Keenan, and Quentin Johnson go like around that 4 or 5 turn. So if Herb was still there, you want to take Herb a little bit earlier, it kind of made sense to stack him. So I had like a couple Gadsden team with Herb.
Right on, man.
My guy, man, Gadsden. Knew it was coming. Couldn't do enough with it. But yeah, what a game from him, man. He's a freak.
It was a weird week, like just in a vacuum, that like so many of these scroll plays are so frequently stacked and so frequently tethered, and it was a big like no correlation week, I guess is how you would frame it.
Yeah, I mean, with Bo Nix like doing what he did, it's definitely going to forego any correlation. And then like Jackson Dart, you didn't really need correlation with him because like his stacking partners didn't do enough that I mean, you really did not need a whole lot of correlation. It's just it kind of is the way it goes with these things. There's a few have to have players, and Judkins, like where he was on the board and the players you could pair with him was a huge part of that. And Judkins and Devonta Smith were really like the have to have it guys on this one. And I think Olave actually was made a 3 out of 3 appearance. Oh no, Olave was 2 out of 2. So yeah.
Awen, the rest of the stuff on here, like Devonta Smith and this kind of stuff, were they large portions of your portfolio? Was Olave a big? Are you tracing the By Leone with the Olave stuff there, or what were some of your highest exposed this week?
Definitely Trey McBride. I think I had him at the 1-2 turn, so I had about 40% of him. I think in terms of tight ends, there weren't many good options other than like kind of close your eyes, throw a dart at the board, and try to get the round 6 tight end that scores a bunch of points, which Gadsden. I think Olave relative to his ADP always seems like a smash spot, so I had 30% of him, which is kind of high for these 12-man slates. I think his ADP, I forget if they're on the buy, but it's going to rise too much, and you can finally find at the point where it's just he's overly projected or overly valued. I had a lot of Achane just because of the environment, kind of made sense. I didn't really watching Tua throw the ball, like that's just like it just was not good football. And then I had a lot of Dobbs, so it was I had 5 guys above 30%. It was Herb, Olave, Achane, Dobbs, and McBride.
Right on, dude. Yeah, those were some good ones to have. Well done, man, especially with the Olave stuff this week. Did you have yourself a winning weekend in contests outside of this?
I think it was about break even. I think I won like victory formation, and then it was basically kind of like duds from there. Just because I had a lot of Breece Hall. I think that Olave rounds, like everything outside from there was pretty good. I think it's kind of hard because a lot of people got to Bo Nix in the 6th round, surprisingly. But good props to them. But the 12-mans are kind of where I kind of shine. So I think I won the script kick as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there's a lot more kind of edge to it. Like there's obviously there's a line between being good and being lucky, and sometimes all you need is a luck. So.
Right on, bro. Right on. Humble, modest guy. This is my guy right here. Awen, thanks a lot for coming on again, buddy. Well earned. Get to be the first player with 2 seats at this year's Dog Bowl, which means what that means, right?
You got auto one of them.
Damn right. I was about to say, you got to remember, it was only Wednesday. It means you have to auto at least 1 draft at the Dog Bowl. Love and respect it, bro. Dude, crazy shit here. Mad respect to you as a player on the platform. Any final words for the people, or any parting words of wisdom?
Nope. I just hope to see you guys in the lobbies, and good luck.
Yeah, go ahead and get that 3rd seat out of the way. Get the hell out of here. And,
I'll see you next week.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Nice.
There we go.
I love it. All right, we'll see you, my friend.
All right, see you guys.
All right, get out of here.
Good shit, man. Yeah, Awen truly is the GOAT, man. He is. It's high praise coming from another GOAT like Carpart, but he truly is sick of all sick in all the sports right now. Yeah, Nez, run down some of the other winners here. Some great stories here. Using right here, part of the Discord as well. Couldn't make it on the program, was working today there, but had a heart-wrenching loss that we talked about on the program. I guess it was week 3 or week 4 that he posted in the Discord, where he lost by 0.1 fantasy points out on 3rd place there, came 4th place, and the world rights itself by doing right by him and winning him a seat later here. He did tell me some interesting stories behind the scene here. Let me make sure I get this right 100%. But he said this was his final draft of the weekend.
Wow.
It was his, let me pull this up. He said, he did. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He was hedging his Jackson Dart fandom, because in the Discord, his PFP is a picture of Jackson Dart. It was his final draft of the weekend, and he felt so much better being the guy who got to chase down instead of the guy who was teetering and hanging on for dear life and then got vaulted at the very last minute of last time there. But yeah, he just he was basically hedging his fandom with this Bo Nix last round pick.
I mean, this is John. I tell you all the time, hedging is where it's at, and you keep, you always shot me down. But look at what hedging's done for the good people.
It's true, man. It's true. The Nez hedge coming to fruition. Chris Olave is a staple of this. Pairing together that Jonathan Taylor plus Swift stuff was beautiful. Keenan Allen, who we talked about it as a scroll, but he became a better and better play, Nez, especially in the six persons, as we found out that, QJ was going to play and Ladd was starting to slide a little bit. QJ was rising rapidly, but then Keenan was kind of just going overlooked and not as drafted in those contests. And then it ends up being, Keenan, the highest scoring Chargers wide receiver there. Jake Ferguson finds the end zone 2 more times despite CeeDee Lamb being back. And only 29 yards, but those 2 touchdowns. But man, that offense is moving the football right now in a big way. Dak is playing at, dare I say, MVP level. Yeah, beautiful lineup here, man.
Yeah. Shout out to guy Uzen. Happy for him. Excited to see him in Kansas City. It's too bad he couldn't come on and get the winner's circle treatment. But just an absolutely sick team here from the guy. I was guilty of chasing the QJ steam as well. Maybe later on I'll tell you a little story about that one. And it's a shame because, Keenan's my guy, and this was the spot. So definitely a little upset that I didn't get on Keenan more again. I'll give you some more context on that. But a sick team from Uzen, man. And excited to meet the Jackson Dart fanboy in Kansas City.
Yeah, likewise, man. Yeah, that'd be great. Last one up here, dude. Sicko Dank, a returnee to the Dog Bowl here, was part of the Dallas Dog Bowl there, Nez, if you remember. He gets home by way of the Jackson Dart. So, Usain maybe could have left his fandom at the door and still got home with the Jackson Dart there. But this one had the Judkins, Swift, and Keenan Allen. Again, Devonta Smith being one of the highest scoring wide receivers, if not the highest scoring wide receiver on the slate. And then Jake Ferguson, 2 touchdowns there. Interesting to just note that the Trey McBride stuff was obviously an A-Wins lineup, and the Trey McBride stuff is going to be a staple of the 6 persons. But just even when tight end separates, as long as there's something to match that buffer of 6 fantasy points or whatever, like Jake Ferguson's score was, you could still get home without being quote unquote perfect in the 12-mans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, even A1's team had 4 points there. So,
right.
Don't have to be perfect in the 12-mans, especially on slates where, there can be more than one answer depending on who's scoring and what parts of the board, where it's not just Jonathan Taylor's only on one of these teams and he was the highest scoring player or highest scoring running back on the slate. You don't need it just so it's kind of, so I like the 12-mans, man. There's multiple answers to the test.
Well said, dude.
Yeah,
for sure.
I was a Jackson Dart over Carson Wentz away from being in this spot instead of Sicko Dank. I was sweating a pick because I had 2 Eagles, so I was like, well, I should just play Wentz and play the game stack. I'm way down there now on this pick. I think 32 or something.
Yeah,
35. I was up there for a second.
Yep, sure.
But that Carson Wentz pick was not the answer.
Yeah, you went with the low-owned Wentz unstacked on a bring back off of double Phillies. Got it. Wow, you really nailed your flex positions. Holy smokes. This is damn near the nuts.
Worth.
Yeah. Damn near the nuts in the middle there, dude.
Yeah. Oh well. We fight again. live to fight another day.
Oh well. That's so funny. Big shouts to our guy Awin, who's dropping off not 1, not 2, but 3.
Oh, dude.
Parcels of 10 Madge Bros memberships there.
That's
30
awesome.
Memberships for the community. Awin, much love, dude. Mad respect. Thank you so much for coming back on the program. Congrats again on the 2nd seat, and best of luck in Kansas City. Though I'm afraid, Nez, there's a pretty good chance we may see him before Kansas City again.
I have anything to say about it, but I think we may. I think we may.
Truly some of the usual suspects at the top here. Buster Boys all over it. Dave all over it again. Tubinis, our guy Ty, who already has a seat, all over it again. Awin's up here multiple times. Ben Roethlisberger, crutches. Oh man, Patrick Barnes, YouTube, JT McKenzie. It's truly a friends of the show, all peppering the leaderboard here. So hopefully some more of those names can get home in the upcoming weeks here because they're so effing close, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's just this was a true, like who's who type of slate.
Yeah,
Look at that.
absolutely.
Look at that Gadsden pick.
Yeah, I'm surprised. 29%. I was just checking that because I knew it was my highest lineup here. Yeah, 29%. Nez, let's move over to the community-based stuff and the main stuff. David, who gave out 5 Badge Bros memberships earlier with another 1K score here for him, took down second in the onside kick there. Our guy Car Park, man. Car Park finally gets it. The Holy Grail. He wins both the third and long here. I don't have lineups for him. Also, our guy GSD4 in second place in that one. That's going to be a little bit of a theme of the show here. And then Car Park does it, man. He said it. All he wanted to do was win the Badge Bros Brawl. And what does he do, man? He comes out here, wins the Badge Bros Brawl. We can jump back to that lineup in half a second to check it out. And then, as I noted before, our guy Shilly, man, takes down the Wildcat. Also, he was hanging out in the chat. Never responded to my DM about the winner's circle because 10K from the Wildcat was winner's circle eligible and didn't hit me up. So Shilly, you're on pack watch right now, dog. Where are you? I'm watching you, bro. And then what else we got here? Oh, we got Rock the Suburbs, dude. Rock the Suburbs, we know and love from the NBA streets here. Takes down one of the $3 contests there. A nice 2K to first. 35% owned Swift. Alave at only 62 and Herbert at 40. Beautifully done here.
Yeah, this is a sick team, man. Shout out to Suburbs. You needed that win, he says. Love it.
He needed it. Yeah. Been a rough start to the season. Waiting for NBA to get going here. I think people are going to be really excited to get in the NBA streets this week. Just if anything, Nez, just to switch things up, Yeah, we love football, but we spend all summer drafting football. And then we spend all the first couple weeks drafting football. Yeah, I think he and the people are going to be aligned on just, hey, it's nice to have something else to click on, some different names to click on all of a sudden.
I for one, am looking forward to having new names to click.
Eggers, Evergreen. John has no idea.
No, you absolutely don't.
Trevor got second to Suburbs in that contest. So shout out to Trevor, man, who was runner up in that very same contest. Trevor, what contest was that? $3 price point.
That's the hurry up.
Hurry up? Was it hurry up?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Nez, we can jump on over to the main slate here. Give some love. DeBomb Streets there. There you go, buddy. GSD4. This is why you guys subscribe to the solver. This is why you use the brand new combinatorial tool that they have alongside the solver. These shows are brought to you on part by the solver. GSD4 is one of the masterminds behind the solver. And what happens? He gets a first place here. He gets a sixth place here. And yeah, you're going to see his name on the main contest leaderboard a whole lot. Beautiful stuff from him.
Yeah, he had a sick week. Shout out to GSD.
Yes, sir. I didn't roll any JT in the DeBomb Streets. I played Hertz skinnies on 3 of the lineups though, so I thought I was gonna have a decent one. Didn't end up mattering there. Pop into the fullback dive here. TJ Carlson, I don't know. Nah, Ricky, our very own Pete Overzet up there as well. What happened in the victory form? Oh, fucking Awin, whatever. Who cares? We got NFL up here. We got Ace, dude. That's our guy. Pete's buddy from the Discord that we're always talking.
That's Ronnie?
Baseball with? Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Huge dub.
Yeah. And then here's that Badge Bros Brawl with Car Park. Let's see what he ran out there in the Badge Bros Brawl. He gets Taylor plus Judkins. Mahomes not 100% owned, paired with Rice. He gets Trey McBride, tight end 1 on the slate, and then he gets a 1.28%, scroll the F down, owned Devonta Smith one-off. Truly beautiful. That's chef's kiss. This is what the Badge Bros Brawl should look like right here.
That's crazy. That is crazy, man.
I love that so much. And then let's go to the main BR here, dude. Talk about it here. Maharaja 80. I'm going
Sounds
with that.
right.
Yeah. Yeah. Maharaja 80. Let's go with that. 12% owned Bo Nix. You get the Bo Nix home, even though it's paired with Cortland Sutton, who only had 13 fantasy points, because it allowed you to get to Bo Nix, which is truly incredible there. That pairing of Swift and Jonathan Taylor, Trey McBride, and then Chris Olave on what I presume is the Debo swap here. Yeah, that's the Chris Olave to Debo swap. A lot of people played that one there. I saw Andy was leading for a bit there and earned his badge from this one here. He had a truly sick lineup with the double tight end, Nez. But then he was able to scroll down at the wide receiver positions there. Devonta Smith only 8.3% owned. 85 was up here, who's ADD in the chat, who we've been seeing for a long time. And then our guy, man, here he is again and again. No Bo Sox is up here. Yeah, crazy stuff here, dude. Thought I had a sniff at it, but we'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah, a lot of Devontae Smith, a lot of Bo Nix. Yeah, 2 plays that I wasn't really on in the 6-person contest. Had a lot of Saquon, so that's cool. But yeah. I also was like off Breece Hall too. Said it multiple times, and then into bomb, I was like, let's hedge. Let's hedge.
That's hedge strikes back.
4 out of 5 Breece Hall is into bomb, and I'm just like, who could have seen this coming? Who could have possibly seen this coming?
Yeah, I kind of liked how I played this week, Nez, outside of, I got on a little bit of Breece stuff, and I got on some Vidal stuff, which in hindsight looks bad, just because even though the game environment popped off, we knew if I'd known Hassan Haskins was going to be active, I kind of talked it down as like one of our plays during the week there. And then I kind of like changed my mind a little bit on it. I mean, he definitely could have got home, but like just a split backfield, not using the goal line roll, like, I don't know. I was glad I got off of, I basically played no Bill, which I felt good about, and some other good fades mixed in there. But this was the one that, permission to tilt for a minute. This was the one I thought I was going to get home. I looked, we were out walking the dog, and I was in 18th place, and the Broncos had 0 points on the board with 2 minutes left in the, with like 9 minutes left, and there was basically a full half left in the Dallas game there. And then Jaden Daniels gets hurt. Dak throws for the touchdown, but he throws to Ferg. And then I kind of move up to like 10 or something. And then nothing pushed game environment. And Bo Nix, they score 33 points in like 9 minutes as a team. And he scores 39 fantasy points and just kind of like ruins me, because I thought I deserved a better fate with this one here with the little skinny stack and basically the nuts outside of it.
Yeah, no, you definitely did. Got on that CD early, like we were talking about. Like that was like a priority target early in the week, and the Jaden Daniels injury plus the pick 6 that Mariota threw just like completely cratered all hopes for Dallas fantasy points after that, which was a bummer, because I also had Javonte and CD in a contest that really shall not be named. But my tilt of the week, John, I was in a 5-5-5 and 2v2 away from 150K.
Oh fuck, that's pain, dude. That's pain.
The 2v2. Tell me what you think about this. The 2v2 was I played Michael Mayer. I had Michael Mayer. It was a Michael Mayer Gadsden team. I double tight end it to like jam.
Sure.
Chalk.
Yeah, it was. It was double tight end according to the S Words week on that platform. Yeah.
So I was a Mayer QJ versus Keenan Ertz away from 150K, second place. Doesn't that just feel like you played the worst bucket, like played bad, ran bad? How does that not just sound horrible when I say that to you out loud? I was right. Like, yeah. I wish I had. I wish I didn't. I wish I never looked.
Mayer or Ertz with no pass catchers, and he was a bring off of the Dallas stuff. And fuck,
Yeah, so that sucked.
That feels gross.
Yeah.
That's gross, man.
That's just like like what were you thinking type of deal, but whatever.
Ugh. Hey, this is a safe space. We got our tilts out. There's always
Yeah.
another slate. There's always another sport. We're fucking turning the page. We're moving on, Nez. That
can't
2v2. If that 2v2 just goes the other way, he wins all the money. He wins all the money. That's pain, dude.
That made me so mad. That made me so mad. And like, can we last tilt, John? Tilt. Was Quentin Johnston a good play? Not Quentin Johnson. Sorry. Other Q. Other J. Was Quinshon Judkins a good play on the dog app? Yes or no? In general, even. Let's just fuck it.
Yes, I think he was.
Was Judkins a good play?
Yeah, I think he was a really good play. I thought he was a good play. Like I thought, worst run defense, probably positive script, opposed to the trailing one that we saw the stuff the previous week. The weather kind of, even though the plummeting total kept going down, the weather played like in his favor. I thought he was a good play because I thought there was 5 or 6 first round picks and that was it. Like I played no Achan, I played no Bill. I didn't play very much Javonte because I played that game almost exclusively through the air. So I thought he was a good play on the dog app. I thought he was running back 4 and he was pick 6 in my mind.
Yeah, I think he was good dog app play because, half PPR, but like, man, he did not like have a great game. Like he scored 3 touchdowns, but like, I mean, I obviously he has big playability, so you can't like take away the 40-yard run, but like you take away the 40-yard run and he has 2 yards per carry against the Dolphins. Like,
right. I mean, they're a one-dimensional team right now, right? They're fully a one-dimensional team, but they leaned into that. And you could also be like, hey, the Browns haven't scored more than 17 points in like 15 games or whatever it was till that game.
Yeah, like it's kind of a very interesting run out where like it doesn't matter. Like, it's just like that happens whenever you are running back getting 20 carries against the Dolphins. Like there's a lot of different ways that you can matter, but like, man, yeah, I thought I was smart for that fade. I think redacted he was a much worse play given what he came in at.
Well, what did he come in at? I mean, I don't want to pivot completely, but what?
I'm sorry, just like while we're talking.
50, what he
like 50%
in the 555.
I think so.
And he was 6,100.
6,000.
6,000. Yeah. I mean, he's stone cold chalk in the cash, but I don't know. Yeah, that's gross. That is gross.
45 fucking percent. Unreal.
45% in the 555.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. No, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, let's move on here, Nez. Let's turn the page here. The people in the chat,
we got a fun Monday night slate, man. Let me just say this Monday night slate is really sick. And and it's 125K, which I'm so glad that like despite some overlay here and there that we kept 125K because 125K for a Monday night doubleheader is gonna fill. It always fills. No.
Yeah.
I mean this all hypothetical. It's all hypothetical, GA.
It is. One last thing on the main slate here, Nez. He won by 0.36 points on the very last play on that out route to Sutton. And it was like the tandem pass catch there that was like very interesting.
Yeah.
That took place. And where's our guy in the chat? No Bo Sox was obviously sweating it because he was right there. Yeah, winner was on the last play that led to that second to last if you count the field goal that led to the field goal. Truly sick. What a sick set. That's crazy. Yeah, in terms of like the last couple things just on the slate in general, like the CeeDee Lamb stuff was really interesting to me, Nez. Like, and I think it's an interesting conversation to have. I mean, he had 98 yards and a score after the first quarter, and he finished with 110 and a score in a game where they proceeded to score 44 points. Like, just truly weird, sick run out. But like, I think I would do it again. It only ended up being 35% for me, 35.6, and the 341 because I didn't roll him one time in the bomb stuff. But yeah, I just kind of got like on these heavy 2 front end wide receiver builds, and then played a lot of like AJ Brown on the bring back, played a lot of Addison as part of like that game through the air. But I was really concentrated at wide receiver and then scatter shot at the running backs, including, Judkins and this sort of stuff. The Genty and Vidal and Hall stuff aged awful. But then I kind of got way over, or tried to get way over, on the McBride stuff as well. Just thoughts about how you played this weekend, how I played, anything to share on like exposures and stuff?
Let me pull up mine. I will say the CD conversation I think is like interesting, and it really kind of hinges upon like how Jonathan Taylor was going to play, I guess, because those combos exist.
He was my
early.
102 for what it's worth. I just didn't roll much Jonathan Taylor this week. I wasn't taking CD over Jonathan Taylor. I was like being facetious when I said he was my 101. I literally just rolled like no 101 this week. I only had 11% Jonathan Taylor. Yeah.
Yeah, I ended up with I did not really like the way that I played. I had a ton of Rashee Rice and Mahomes, so like that was like a target of mine, but like I don't like the way I played because my highest exposed players didn't score a lot of points. But mostly the reason I don't like the way I played, even though like here's the thing. I took a lot of Breece Hall after like saying that I didn't like the play, because I looked myself in the mirror and I kind of like ate some humble pie, and I'm like, I'm looking at 4 projections that tell me Breece Hall is like a top 5 running back on the slate. And then I have my opinion. And then I have the dog app has a Breece Hall ADP of like 20s, where he's going like RB like 8. And I'm like, by all accounts, he's a good play. And he's a good play play because of these factors. So I aped into that because of those factors. And I like ate some humble pie, and I was like, I'm wrong. Projection's right. Because it wasn't just one source. There's a lot of sources that said Breece Hall looked good. And that not hitting, just like that was like my biggest source of tilt this weekend, was like, I thought Breece Hall was a bad play. I've been talking about the Panthers the entire season. And I didn't care. That was probably that's my biggest source of regret is doing that. Everything else I'll take the L on. The Breece or just whatever. The Breece Hall shit. That was my biggest source of tilt yesterday.
Yeah. And I think it's fair to feel that way, dude, because, we can nitpick every projection. We can nitpick everything we talk about on the show. We can nitpick everything we said throughout the week. But for the most part, the vast majority of it aged really well this week. And it felt like we should have had better weeks than we wound up having. And I think one bit of source to that was not following your own advice associated with it. And that's why you kind of hate it right now, right?
In terms, what was the TL, like just the results there?
Yeah.
I mean, of course. Yeah, I don't like the results, but like, other plays though, like I had a lot of Rashi, like I said, I had a lot of Barkley, I had a lot of Jefferson. Like, is that bad that like that game went nuts, but like I didn't have like the 2 studs that went on. Right. Like Jefferson didn't do anything significant. Barkley didn't do anything significant, but like identified the spot. The spot went crazy. It's the game, dude. It's the game. 100%. I mean, everybody's tilting at this time of year. It seems like if you're not winning, if you haven't won yet, it's definitely a very tilt laden time of year. But I don't know, man. I think I still know the league pretty well. You know, like I don't think I don't know anything. It's just Shout out to the Bonex guys.
Dude, I said this in the chat today that it's literally the equivalent of 1 week of NBA. It feels so much more than that because it's so drawn out and it's week after week and it's been 2 months now of football. And, there's PTP slates mixed in there and not, but we obviously focus and talk way more about the main slate, and we have the winner's circle for the main slate, that the build up for it, plus you layer on the fact that we did the masterclass this year, you layer all this shit on it, and there's just more pressure on football and the results of football. But if we were playing NBA and you and I just had back to back break even-ish slates and a little win here and there, it would just be like, yeah, fucking keep the show rolling. Here we go, baby. But it's just because it's football. It's so drawn out. It's so whatever. It's literally just like, it's only 7 slates. But yeah, I know how you feel, and I echo the sentiments. And I think it's therapeutic, as Sun Q saying in the chat, that this Tilt Fest is therapeutic because it's real life, right? Like, it's just like, we're allowed to feel this way. We're allowed to like let it out. We don't want it to affect our play. We just want to share in it, because I know vast majority of the community is feeling this to some degree or another, right?
Yeah.
So
the thing that is, the one thing I'll say is that, like, I think my tilt of the season so far, maybe just the results of the season so far of not having that big win, is what led me to not fading Breece Hall when I wanted to fade Breece Hall. And I'm like, well, this is a good play based on like what I deem to be good plays, and I haven't won yet. And so like, yeah, let me like ignore my takes, because what have I won? And go with these guys. So yeah, I mean, but like, I don't know. I'm definitely not sweating that too hard. I think that like the process of getting there was correct. But enough about Breece Hall for me.
Yeah. This one stings for Magikarp. His source of tilt this week was if he just stacked Sutton with the quarterback, he wins 50K, because his lineup had better surrounding pieces. That's tilting, my friend. That's a tough one.
I'm done. I'm done tilting about week 7. I don't want to say anything else.
Okay, one last tilt from your boy Nez. I was winning the 3-time Primetime Palooza. It was duped with 2 others or something like that. Going into last night, thought I was going to take that bad boy down, and then CMC just went insane last night, and I didn't watch any of that football game because I was absolutely locked in, dialed into the Mariners game. But yeah, this lineup here I thought was going to do quite well, and it looked like it was going to be the winner for a while there. And then it gets jumped by about 8 fantasy points, with Christian McCaffrey being the separator there. So all good. Shout out to J Wade 24 here. Just a Stafford skinny stack there. Stafford throws for 5 effing touchdowns, but not over 200 yards. Just such a Stafford weird line. Christian McCaffrey returns to being Christian McCaffrey and like single-handedly wins that game by himself. Last night when I was watching the highlights there, only player in all football, Nez, to have 100 or more scrimmage yards in every single game this season. So CMC looks, so effing back, even though the efficiency looks a little bit down. But we talked about how George Kittle coming back could really boost CMC's production because he's such a good inline run blocker, and it's another weapon that the defense has to worry about. Turned out to be the case. Didn't need Jamar Chase on this team, who was actually the second highest scoring player on the slate, because you go Adams, T. Higgins, a breakout game for Ohtani here. Travis Hunter winds up with 14 targets, 8 receptions, 101, and a score there, 36 of it on his first touchdown ever in garbage time, 28-0, blah, blah, blah. And then Jonnu Smith, you didn't even need the high scoring tight end on the slate, Pat Freiermuth, because he was only like 2% owned. Jonnu Smith was the guy there. Just wanted to hit on the Primetime Palooza as we push into Primetime Palooza. Let's talk about slate here, Nez. We got some fun total tonight here with a 53 total. We got some Q tags on the slate as well. Let me pivot our branding for a half second. There we go. Oh. And so we got a 53 here by the unabated line and 6 points by way of the Lions this evening in the Dome versus MVP candidate Baker Mayfield. We're anticipating the return of Mike Evans this evening. We are uncertain on the status of Emeka Egbuka, and he was a DNP LP this week with a hamstring injury that cut his game last week short there. And then we got Texans traveling to the great Pacific Northwest here. 61 degrees at kick, if I'm looking outside right now, with probably no rain there. That would be my best guess. 41 total points in this one. Seahawks as 3-point home favorites. And as everybody is so astute to point out here, Nez, that it is Ken Walker's birthday today. So yeah, just macro on the slate here. How we feeling?
Yeah, I think this is a really fun slate. Love this Buccaneers Lions game, man. Oh my God, this game just like flies off the paper as just a super, super awesome game. The Lions secondary, I don't think has a single starter healthy. Like no joke. So Tampa should be able to really push on the Lions. So Lions are just like the biggest pass funnel ever, and Baker's getting so many weapons back. Just like looks like such an awesome Baker game. You can't run on the Bucks really either, and you know they're vulnerable through the pass. So like this looks like that. Like this is a what kind of comp am I going to give to this? This is a I can't think.
This is Pacers versus Hawks with a 255. Nez froze with the comp. We still good, guys? Are we live? Nez was about to drop the absolute greatest comp of all time, and he exploded. Freeze frame Nez. Oh, that's classic. Freeze frame Nez. Goodbye, Nez. Oh, that was funny. He was gonna drop a hammer on us, but hey, man, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid that Nez is serving me here. Teron Arnold gonna miss this one with the shoulder injury. That's one of the corners that he was referring to. Kirby Joseph as well. Avonte Maddox, formerly of the Eagles, there is going to miss this evening. So those are all the secondary players in which he was referring to. Also, Taylor Decker on the offensive line went limited DNP, which would be be pretty brutal for their run game against a stout run defense. So what Nez is saying is we have pass funnel versus pass funnel in a dome with a 53. So like it looks like pace up, sling it back and forth, that sort of thing. And the running back plays, they're not really jumping off the page for like outside of just, hey, we're going to bank on some volume here, because both teams look decently tough on the ground. And there are some scrolls, particularly from the other game environment, that you can get to. So yeah, I'm going to mess around with some stuff here. Yeah, we may get another Rams Chiefs 54-51. I mean, that's the dream. That's the dream. And I don't know. Do you guys, my take is we're not going to get Igbuka tonight. Like, that's just how I've been treating the slate. I think his price tag is extremely palatable, and you can embrace the risk of the Q tag, and there's going to be plenty of swap options on his own team that are going underdrafted. So maybe instead of getting like over your skis on like Tez Johnson or something like that, you just take Igbuka and then swap to him in the drafts in which he does not go. That's just kind of like my macro thoughts on it. Tampa Bay also has their bye in week 9. So, you know, Detroit this week, they probably really need them. New Orleans next week, both road games, both dome games, and then they have their bye. I don't know, man. Just given the fact that Chris Godwin's injury has been so significant that he's getting ruled out early in the week like this is a team that has like postseason aspirations and stuff. Like, let Igbuka get healthy. I mean, I know it's quote unquote just a hamstring, but it was good enough, or bad enough, sorry, is the phrasing I should look at. It was bad enough to keep him out of practice all week, and for him to keep him out of practice, and for him to get removed from last week's game is what I'm kind of trying to say. There we go.
Did I ever get to like finish what I was trying to say?
You never got to finish the comp. I gave a basketball adjacent comp in lieu of what you were going to say. What was your comp going to be for this game?
I was trying to make a way of saying this is like watered down Rams versus Chiefs.
Nice. Yeah.
Where that game just like we went into that night just knowing that there's just no way that this game can fail. And then we have this one here, and I'm just like, how is this game going to fail? I just, like famous last words, but I don't know how this game disappoints. So I'm super, super stoked about this one. I heard you talking about Buka and his hammy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. It's I guess if the imaging is okay
Yep.
and he's he's feeling okay. And I heard another thing too about this, where
Yes.
if you don't have a prior history of hamstring injuries, you are actually like better off. Like you recover faster, you handle them better if you don't have a history. But like
Okay.
so, and from my understanding, he does not have a long history of hamstring injuries as well. So
Okay.
yeah, I've been drafting a ton of him in the PTPs. We'll end up transitioning to the dog app, but like
Mhm.
I think he's just like such a smash over there.
I mean, I tend to agree that at his price tag and like the way in which you can go about this slate, that drafting him is kind of like the best alternative, and then swapping into it not being him. There is also like the off chance of like re-aggravation or limited snaps or something like that, but I don't think they'd run him out there if we weren't going to get like a full allotment. I think they would keep him out another week and or two and take the time off between the bye, just given how banged up they are at wide receiver.
For sure. I'm with you on that. And this spot's just too awesome to like to not F around and find out.
Right. Yes. Entirely fair. Nez, let's talk about the other game. I mean, we can break it down like the it's very concentrated in my estimation in terms of like Seahawks. You play one of the two running backs, you play JSN, you can play Cooper Kupp, and you can play AJ Barner. And that's kind of it for me, right? Like, do you want to go chasing a 18 snaps, Torrey Horton finding the end zone once? I don't think you're going to win the slate like that, given the context that you just laid out from the other game environment, right? And then if you look at the Texans side, you just go, okay, maybe there's a split backfield here. Chuba gets some goal line stuff. Woody Marks is the trailing script guy, plus the patch catching stuff. And then we could play Nico, and that's kind of the only pass catcher people want to play, even though, the Texans went off 2 weeks ago against the Ravens there. Nobody really wants to scroll to like Xavier Hutchinson, despite his role looking pretty strong, because the other game environment is way more conducive to scrolls. So you're going to get like a way starker ownership difference here on the Texans, or Texans auxiliary pieces, but nobody wants to click them. They only want to click Nico or Schultz, right? So yeah, just kind of like thoughts on playing the contrarian angle of the other game environment and parts of the first game failing, or parts of the first game being super concentrated that you need parts from the second game. Just thoughts.
I think that there is definitely angles on the Seahawks and Texans game, but yeah, scroll wise, it's really, really difficult. The scrolls that you have available to you are at the running back positions, though, and these are two like really, really tough defenses, and the Seahawks as well are like way healthier than they have been in the past. So it's not ideal.
Yep.
I mean, they've got like almost everybody back defensively.
Yeah,
it looks like
Witherspoon and Reek both logged 2 full practices. I can't remember which order they were this week, but they had no DNPs this week. Leonard Williams, no DNPs. And I think Derek Hall is the only linebacker that they're going to be without tonight. So this is by far the healthiest secondary. And like Julian Love's also questionable this evening, but trending in the right direction with the hamstring. So like that's your full secondary coming back this evening.
Yeah, this is not the Seahawks that we have seen in weeks past. So,
right.
Like I still think that you beat them through the air if you to beat them. So like I still like the pass catchers from the Texans, especially because I think they're going to be trailing. But like there's a chance that the Texans just fail completely. So this is definitely like, on paper, obviously, right? We got a 12-point difference in total. Like we love like the Tampa Bay and Detroit pieces for fantasy. Don't love the Texans for fantasy. It feels like, how does this game possibly matter? How do things possibly get out of control here? I mean, what are some ways? Like Ken Walker breaking off a huge ass run. We
people are going to play
Ken Walker.
Yeah, the old birthday narrative with Ken Walker. There's also the Charbonnet, his role's been so strong in the red zone that he just pounds it in twice there. There's that narrative. I guess there's the JSN just laps the field in terms of scoring on the slate from the first round, where he's like 140-2 or something like that, and you need him no matter what kind of thing.
So yeah, I feel like no matter what, if this game is going to impact the results of the slate, then I think it starts with Seattle, right? Seattle just coming out and busting ass early. And then from there, the Texans have to play catch up, and we get to see some deep targets to Nico. We see some Schultz usage. We see CJ Stroud have himself a game, which, doesn't feel like a great bet, but I feel like Stroud has been quietly fine this season. So it's not improbable. I mean, buoyed by a Baltimore Tennessee games back to back. Didn't have a great performance against Tampa, but I mean, I feel like that's the way that this game gets exciting.
Yeah, I think the one other avenue is Woody Marks, and we go post bye rookie bump. Their offense exploded in a big way against that banged up Baltimore secondary, right? Then they go into the bye, and now they come out of the bye for an extended week because they're playing on Monday night as well. So they've had like this super large chunk of time off, and they take a look in the mirror, they go back, they watch all the film, and they go, holy shit, our offense looks so much better with Woody Marks than it does with Nick Chubb. And maybe we use him in some short yardage stuff, but they put him in like a Kareem Hunt-esque role, and then the rest of the time is like, this is Woody Marks' backfield. Like we were wish casting, 2-3 weeks ago when he had that like 20 plus carry effort, or 20 plus fantasy point effort.
Yeah, I fully agree. I think they need to lean on Woody Marks more. And maybe they do in this trailing script, what I deem to be a trailing script. They're only 3-point dogs. Man, I just don't think that that's right. I really think the Seahawks are being disrespected like week after week. But, I think the reason being is that like I think the Seahawks are a better offense than they are. Is I think what I'm getting at here.
Yeah.
Or not what I'm getting at, but like what I'm like trying to like make sense of. Is like I think I'm overrating the Seahawks offense because Darnold's been efficient, but they're not like awesome. But like Darnold's been awesome, and so is JSN.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, Nez, where it's like in terms of like an EPA and a drop back efficiency metric, they've been really good, but they haven't been thrust into like, 45 pass attempt volume, because they play like a very balanced like game environment, and they're kind of like balanced on both faces of the game. And this doesn't feel like the spot where they're going to be forced to do that. Right.
No, it doesn't shape up to be that way. This is a really tough defense. I think they're going to probably take another balanced approach like they always do, or always have, unless they're pushed, like you said. So yeah, I mean, like it really feels difficult to imagine pieces from this game that aren't like JSN, mattering. I mean, dude, when you look at ADP, I mean, well, I guess like Nico's up there, but JSN, Nico, Ken Walker, and AJ Barner are the only players in the top. What is that, like 15? Everybody. It's just so condensed with this Tampa Detroit game, and I get it.
Right. Yeah. We'll talk a little bit more about ADP in a half second there. Nez got a hit on something in the chat here. The last question I'll ask is that, put on your ball knowers cap for a half second. Is there any concern about the Derek Stingley versus JSN, or you just think they move him around enough to matter? Like that shit doesn't matter.
No, I think JSN's like, man. I mean, it's hard to not crown him right now. He's like otherworldly at the moment. So yeah, I don't think you can say anybody can shut him down at the moment.
Okay. Yeah. Otherworldly in terms of like runner up in offensive player of the year right now to Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah. And it's like, and it's pretty close, man. He is really just like, it's damn near historic what JSN has been doing this season. Like an ADOT of 13 on the season, 34% targets per route run. Like he's absurd, man. He's absurd. 40% of targets. Like what are we talking about?
Yeah, utilization reports score basically Puka and him and Amon-Ra chase Addison on a small sample through 3 games, but really encouraging there. Like he's in this conversation of like he is the offense. He is what make this team go burr.
Yeah, he's a freak, man. These are insane efficiency numbers for him, and he's getting volume on top of it all. Like he's a monster.
Yeah, he's definitely played better than what people thought he'd be. Like, you know, kind of gadgety PPR scam merchant, and he'd be like 8 and 70 and 1 occasionally. Like he's way more talented than that. Got a hit on this, man. Shilly runs through, drops off $50 for us. Thank you so much, man. He dropped a big 10K dub in the Wildcat there. Mad respect, my friend. A multi-sport draft lead. Won multiple baseball slates this year as well. Yeah, man, appreciate the love here. He missed our DMs because he's been rushing around so much. Busy day on him. But Mr. Nix has made it a little better for sure. Love it, man. Appreciate you as well. Appreciate the kind words and the good sentiment. Nez, that's 50 from the community today, and that is 5, 15, 25, 35 Membes at the door from our friends Awin, David, and Shilly. Mad respect to the community. Love you guys so much. This is why we do this shit, man.
Yeah, you guys rule. This is just too much. Mondays, man. It's just, you know, never expect it. Never required. Always appreciated.
Yeah, damn right. About 300 and some odd of us hanging out right now. If you're on the X machine, give us a little retweet, a like, all that sort of stuff. If you are on the YouTube, hit that like, subscribe, notification bell, all that good stuff. 2 p.m. Eastern every single day here. We'll be doing hoops tomorrow, our first unabated hoops slate walkthrough, and we're bringing on the GOAT. Justin Pham's going to be in here, formerly of the Underdog News team and now of the unabated projections team. Going to be a lot of fun there. As I talk about all that, Nez, we're going to jump back over to the Black and Yellow Dog app here and take a look at some of this ADP stuff. Yeah, so I guess the first question is the Igbokwe stuff, you know, falling in the rooms with the Q tags. You've been gobbling it up, hoping he plays this evening. If not, you know, scroll the F down here. There's a bunch of swap options on his same team that people aren't really getting to. Tez Johnson probably being the most notable one after his performance last week there. Cameron Johnson also scored a touchdown in that one. You could do some Sterling Shepard stuff as well. He doesn't get drafted 100% of the time, but most of the time he gets drafted in these right now. Yeah, just thoughts on how you play in particular, the Evans Igbokwe Q tag, and then we'll go position by position.
Oh yeah, I'm drafting both. I have Igbokwe over JMO. Yeah, I'm fully in on both these guys.
Sounds good, man. Yeah, so you're fine, you know, kind of jamming Igbokwe at like 10 or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that's where I have him right now. Yeah, I have him. Yep. Yeah, 11. Okay. Behind his running backs, but ahead of JMO.
Okay. Yeah, no, man, I respect that for sure. So you're definitely in the camp that he plays ball tonight with that ranking, opposed to just catching the falling Q and then getting a swap option.
Yeah, they gave me an inch. They said that, you know, he has a real shot at playing, and yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take that and play that, because I just think this is such an amazing spot for him that I want to play it. The downside is, like, you know, this also sets up like beautifully for, you know, a JMO smash week. So like, I don't want to have no JMO, but I also want to have a shit ton of Igbokwe, because if Igbokwe is playing, and we knew that he was playing, he would be going like ahead of Sam Laporta. So,
okay. Yeah, no, respect it for sure, man. Let's talk about the dynamic of the slate here for one last thing, just before we go position by position, Nez. Is it a spot where you're prioritizing quarterback? Because the two highest ranked quarterbacks are cut from that game environment that we're talking about that we like so much. The first game, why am I crazy here? Bucks versus Detroit game there. So are you prioritizing quarterback in any regard on this slate?
Yeah, I am. It feels difficult getting there tonight without one of those two. And by the time you're looking at, Baker and Goff, and I'm mostly like taking Goff, but
Yeah.
if you're looking at those two at that point, it's like, yeah, I can live with everybody else that goes behind them. I don't really need to get ahead of any other position at that point whenever I'm on the clock with those guys
Mhm.
in the pool. So yeah, I'm definitely prioritizing them. And I mean, it's hard not to. It's hard not to when you look at the game environments. Sure, it can go a different way, but man, oh man, it certainly feels like you're going to need one of those two.
Yeah. I kind of feel you. I kind of feel you there, dude, where it's like I don't want to make my profile like something where I'm like vaulting up quarterback and I'm like getting super condensed around it, but like it really does feel that like the scores that can be put up in like double pass funnel game with all the injuries and the fact that we think it's hard to run in both directions tonight, that like yeah, if this game plays through the air and to the total, how do they not separate enough to want to separate them in ADP?
I know. I
Yeah.
can't fathom a way that doesn't happen. But like,
Right.
that's not the first time I've said that, and it's not the last time I've said it, and it's not the last time I've said it and been wrong at the same time. So
Yeah. The interesting thing about like tonight is like we are truly void of like the Konami code catch up quarterbacks that can do it with the legs and really separate and or do it with their legs to then run them naked. Almost all these quarterbacks are going to be stacked so frequently this evening, Nez. Is that any consideration for you to like want to run, some skinny stack stuff or different stacks than other people or some naked Baker or something like that and just admit, hey, we don't know where this ball's going and maybe JSN outscores them and I still want Baker on my team kind of deal?
I'd have to think through scenarios and builds of where that would like make sense, but I don't think it's totally sensible to like to go naked as a strategy. I think if it
I agree
happens,
with
it
you.
happens.
Yeah.
Like there's not a whole lot here where I'm like, oh yeah, like naked QB is what you needed here. Maybe like I think naked QB could come from a Darnold or Stroud,
Okay. Yeah, where
which
it's
is like
just like,
weird because it's not the game environment, but like yeah, I think it
yeah,
could
you
come
get
from one of those.
you get like the kind of like GM flex positions won and taken care of
Right.
at the front end. And then Sam Darnold does enough as your last quarterback to put up, 18 fantasy points. The other game doesn't separate so greatly that the 24 from Baker matters. And you cover that 6 points in a different regard. Or, you kind of like the tight end on the 12 persons that we were just looking at kind of vibe.
Yeah, it would require like definitely, some cheap players on either side of that game, like going off and or rush TDs, because like, chances are if Darnold or Stroud who you need, like man, Nico or JSN is gonna be like what you have to have. So just like
Right.
hypothetically speaking from that standpoint. But yeah, you almost certainly want to stack here.
Yeah, yeah, I kind of agree with you, man. Like the only other avenue is like CJ spreads the ball around so much that like Nico goes for like 110 and 4 or 110
Right.
and 5 but doesn't score, and then like, 20 yards and a score for Schultz. Woody Marks gets one and Xavier Hutchinson gets one, and then that's like, oh yeah, nobody was playing them all together and super stacking them. So those 3 touchdowns are spread out enough to non-drafted pieces that you can win with the naked quarterback.
Yeah. Either way, I'm going to stack.
Yeah, sounds good. Guys, hold off on just for a second here. I want to hit on this. JFan was the skeleton key to paying the rent last fall, and it's going to be the skeleton key this year. Yeah, I mean, truly, their NBA product is top notch. I'm going to put the pricing stuff because things did shift up a little bit. I'll put the unabated pricing stuff in there, but hold off till tomorrow when we speak to fam on the show and we can talk if there's going to be a Badge Bros link or code or something like that going forward. We did have one last year that was a discount for members and stuff like that. So we'll have that conversation tomorrow. But you guys could take a sneak peek at that because projections for tomorrow's slate are coming out at 4:30 p.m. Eastern today. So if you're drafting this evening, maybe you do want to get in on the product earlier, so you have some projections for NBA. All right, Nez, let's move on. Running back position here. I think we're kind of just in lockstep that like ADP is efficient at the quarterback, and the conversation to be had was less about ranking them and more about the one that we had.
For which, sorry?
For the quarterbacks, like the conversation was about whether to stack and whatever. We agree with the rankings on the site.
Yeah, I think Baker and Goff is a toss-up, so I'm gonna have way more Goff.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, just relative to the ADPs.
Yeah.
Let's have the running back conversation because Jahmyr Gibbs, kind of outplays David Montgomery last week, but David Montgomery outplays him. This is more in terms of volume opposed to fantasy points scored, but Gibbs gets the volume this week. Then the Cincinnati week, it was kind of more split, and we knew the narrative about David Montgomery, his sister, and then they threw for a touchdown and all this sort of stuff. So I think it's a very interesting discussion on how you think the backfield split will be tonight. Either way, it's a very tough assignment going up against Tampa Bay, and they're going to be without an offensive lineman. Vita Vea is just one of the toughest run stoppers up the middle, and the up the middle runs is more of David Montgomery's bread and butter. Gibbs is more of like the outside zone guy. So like, how does this matchup set up for you? There's some coach speak from Coach Speak Index here that through the week, Dan Campbell wants to get David Montgomery more involved than he was last week. That's not the plan that they typically want. How are you kind of just feeling out this backfield? Is Gibbs your 101 on the slate?
I think he is.
Okay.
I think he is, but like,
yep.
If he wasn't, it would be JSN.
Yep.
But I think it's Gibbs.
I think you can make a really good case for JSN, Amon-Ra, and Gibbs as 101 tonight.
100%. 100%. Yeah, you could do Amon-Ra 101 too.
Yeah, I think it's totally viable against a pass funnel. You think he's the guy who scores 2 touchdowns. He goes for like 85 and 2 or something and wins you the slate. I think it's viable. I think it's viable to flip that tier as much as you want, those first 3.
Yeah, the only reason why, like, you can, you don't have to do it is like you have really good wide receivers that come back to you with Gibbs at the 101 right now.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I think JSN and Amon-Ra look better. And it's not just because Gibbs is coming off a 7 fantasy point game against the Chiefs, which I think is like his first sub 10 fantasy point game. And I forget how long. But yeah, it's that we keep talking about the matchup. The matchup is not good for the ground game here for Detroit. Yeah. So they don't have to run at Vita Vea, but like it certainly does not bode well for the running backs here. So obviously Gibbs is RB1 here, but I just don't think he's a smash by any means. And like, kind of think JSN and Amon-Ra are smashes. Mm-hmm. So it's really tough, man. I kind of think JSN is the 101 the more that I think about it. Okay.
No, I respect it, man. Like we brought up the utilization report there. Like his role is literally off the charts good. It's amazing. His role is incredible, and Sam Darnold's way cheaper if you want to get away with the skinny stack option like that. We hate the rushing matchup here that I'm trying to bring up some stats for.
And if you just if you just hit wide receiver too, so we can just kind of look at the flex position or the running back and wide receiver as a whole here, like the one thing that stands out to me, other than like Nico Collins, like JSN is the most concentrated player in terms of like offensive role that we have on the slate. So like, man, he just has the opportunity just like every week to just dominate here in a way that, at a frequency that other guys don't, I think, when you run the slate over a bunch of times. It's a super fun first round. I kind of want to get some leverage and put JSN 101, I think.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I think this tier can be mixed and match, as we said there. Yeah. If you're looking at the ETR stuff and you're using the F redacted scoring as your like barometer for understanding our game, which is not a direct 1-for-1 evergreen reminder, that they have it Amon-Ra, Gibbs, then JSN, but we're talking like 1.1 fantasy points separating the 3 of them.
Okay.
But it's kind of just another feather in the cap for, hey man, you can flip this tier as much as you want and get some different builds than other people are getting right now, and you're not sacrificing like quote unquote that much projection.
Yeah, Yeah, it's a really good point. Pick'em lobbies have JSN over Gibbs. They have both JSN and Gibbs over Amon-Ra in terms of like fantasy point ranking, and then it's like a huge fall to Nico. Nico is projected for 13. They have
we just spent all weekend talking about why Achan was a bad ADP. Basically, I had zero Achan this week, Nez, and I feel you were very similar to that. And you look at this chart where the Browns reside in terms of EPA. Oh, what happened here? In terms of EPA per play on a defensive stuff, let's do the rush, filter by the rush here. Everyone was scared to play Achan versus the rush here, and they're the second best because the Tampa Bay Bucks are the best in terms of, I guess the phrasing would be like omitting rushing success. That like whatever the inverse of allowing, not allowing rushing success against kind of is. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they're run stoppers, man. It's been that way for a while, and it's really all because of Vita Vea, man. He's a freak. He's a beast. Now we have a massive total, and we have a 6-point favorites on the side of the Lions. Like those factors, Vita Vea aside, are factors that lead you to want a running back, because that's what happens when the game totals are high and the home team is favored by a touchdown. The running back looks great. So, do you just throw all that to the side and just jam the running back because of those principles? Perhaps. Like it's really interesting because like Gibbs is up like just like when you compare good players to matchup, Gibbs, really tough matchup with Tampa. JSN, really tough matchup with the Texans. Yeah, it's tough. The one that has the easiest matchup, if you're going like down the order, is Amon-Ra, up against the Bucks. So, interesting. I think the TLDR is like the 101 kind of sucks.
Sure, yeah,
and the 2 and 3 are where it's at. Like, get a better second round pick.
Yeah, that's fair. As you guys can see, man, just in terms of like rush EPA allowed, like you get the Bucks up here, you get the Seahawks up here, you get the Lions up here, all in the top 6. Now, obviously, these samples are kind of noisy relative to the games in which they've played and opponents and that sort of thing. But like the Texans are down here. Yeah, I mean, people are talking in the chat like maybe this is a 3 wide receiver build slate. Yeah, like there's pass funnels on every side, pass funnels every side, pass funnels every side. Like everyone's saying the same thing, right? But if everybody's saying it and everybody's thinking it, like maybe that's going to funnel us all to building very similarly and playing, only this game through the air or whatever, right? So it's just, we got to think through ranges of outcomes and what's going on here. But I do like this narrative that Nick's spinning too. Like Amon-Ra St. Brown versus Todd Bowles. We know Todd Bowles loves to blitz. We know they're good at stopping the run, especially up the middle where Vita Vea resides. They're going to get after the quarterback. Well, Goff has been pretty good, historically speaking, against the blitz, especially in the dome, and he's good at ball out quickly. And who's the ball out quickly, guys? Well, it's, swing passes, Texas routes, and dump offs in the flat to Gibbs, Amon-Ra, or to Sam Laporta usually, right? Like those are kind of like, that's kind of the shit, right?
Man, I have no idea what I'm gonna do now. The more that we talk about this,
we just fucking talk ourselves into fucking circles out here. Okay, well, let's get back and let's get away from the top 3, because the top 3 is a very difficult decision to talk through, right? Let's talk about, in particular, the running back position, because I think the most palatable scrolls that people will want to get to is the running back position, because they can tell themselves a story about picking who's right between one of the Texans ones, or picking like, hey, Sean Tucker scored last week. What if Sean Tucker comes in and he's the goal line guy again? What if they saw enough from him to want to utilize that? So I think people are going to want to like pick the fall in the end zone guys as like these back half guys. I don't love Sharps at ADP, just given the backfield split. I'm team Ken Walker over Sharps. I also like the outside zone stuff better for Ken Walker, and all the efficiency metrics, but the touchdown scoring equity is there. Like Sharps is like poor man's David Montgomery to Ken Walker, as David Montgomery is to Jahmyr Gibbs, right? So just thoughts on the dynamic of running back. Like, is it worth prioritizing, Rachaad White ahead of some of those wide receivers because you don't think it's as deep at the back end here? Just thoughts, the rest of the position.
Yeah, it definitely is like, you kind of have to be dynamic in the draft lobbies depending on what your team start out like, because you don't really, what's the point of like no return is if you are left with, like, if you don't get Ken Walker or David Montgomery as a running back, is it Jover for you to be taking Chubb or Marks? Can you possibly
I think you can
win this thing with those guys?
I think you can win with two elite wide receivers, a skinny stack associated with it, with one of those top end quarterbacks. Like if you do like Amon-Ra from the 103, then you do Mike Evans, then it comes back to you and you get Goff, which is a very conceivable start to a draft. And then you just scroll the F down to like post buy, rookie bump, Woody Marks or something like that. And you do like these 1-1-3-1s, or dare we even say 2 tight end builds again. I think it's entirely viable. What if Chubb falls in the end zone twice? What if Sean Tucker steals a Rachaad White goal line rush and that's the only attempt inside the 5 they get or inside the 10 they get? Like, I think it's extremely viable because I could tell myself a better story about these back end guys than or at least the mid tier guys, than I can tell myself about like Xavier Hutchinson in the last round, or like Tez Johnson in the last round if we get Igbuka in. Yeah,
like I definitely would rather be left with one of these running backs than those receivers 100%.
Right. Shout out to Awen, man. He's wishing good luck to T Cage to get another membership here. He drops off 40 Badge Bros memberships on the day. Mad love to one of the best players on the site. Thank you for joining the program again, my friend. He's out and he's saying adios. Good luck in the streets tonight. Best of luck to you as well. But methinks that falls on deaf ears because you don't need it, bro. I think he's going to be just fine. And there it is. T Cage. Here we go. He got one.
Let's
from
go.
Awen. Man, Awen speaks it into existence. Man, love it.
That's hilarious.
That's very good. Nez, who is your favorite scroll at the running back position?
I think Woody.
Yeah, me too. I think Woody has a chance to be the skeleton key tonight. Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. Let's talk about the wide receiver position. We already had the top question here. Do you like Mike Evans in that game environment more than Nico Collins this evening? If you're playing Igbuka in, do you discount Mike Evans' projection a little bit? Are you discounting Mike Evans' projection because of the injury anyways? Just thoughts on the kind of Evans versus Collins versus Igbuka tier.
Yeah, I think you got to go Nico over Evans. Like, I think even like injury aside, I think Nico, just given the concentration that he has in the offense, I think you go Nico. But Mike Evans obviously in a much better game environment. But it's Nico for me at wide receiver 3.
Okay, cool. I think if you play and project no Igbuka this evening, that Mike Evans is a better play than Nico this evening.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah. So if you're playing Igbuka as in, I think you should probably take Nico ahead. If you're playing Igbuka as out, I think you should be really, really taking advantage of Mike Evans' ADP with the Q tag right now. And then you should be on a secondary level taking advantage of like Tez Johnson, who made that ridiculous catch last week and thought the MVP chants were for him, or taking the college narrative, shower narrative of Sterling Shepard alongside. Like, you should be scrolling to those guys and playing this game environment more if you think Igbuka is not playing this evening. If you think Igbuka is playing, I think you should agree with Nez and then put Nico ahead and then play Mike Evans, Igbuka kind of as a tier and then move down from there.
Yeah, well said.
Okay, cool. Anyone you want to highlight? We talked about post-buy rookie bumps, but that also could apply to the wide receivers. It could apply to Jaden Higgins or Jalen Noel. Any thoughts on that one as I bring up what the Texans have kind of looked like at the wide receiver position so far?
I think maybe I don't know that any of these Texans kids are gonna matter
Sure.
necessarily, but trying to see what Noel did last. His routes have been really bad all season, but I think last week he saw he saw 3 targets last week, a season high for him.
Okay.
In a
Yeah,
spot, yeah.
I'd put a little noise in that one because they scored so many points so fast,
Sure.
so early, and then they were way up on the Ravens that okay, now it's time to mix the kid in a little bit. That was kind of the vibe, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Hutchinson has gotten, way more routes on the team so far.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he up from week 2 on, he's ran 70% of routes every game.
Nice.
Jaden Higgins has never ran over 50% of routes. Jalen Noel has never ran over 38% of routes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, dude, it's interesting. I do think that I like Hutchinson over Higgins, even though ownership wise, Higgins is going to come in lower owned.
Okay. Yeah, I think I agree with you. Just
Gross,
interacting
dude.
Fantasy points this evening, I would take Hutchinson and above. Yeah. Last one I'll ask you about is a potential third running mate in the Texans backfield. 23% of snaps last week for Dame Pierce. Was that just a reflection of game environment and shit being, out of hand? So
I would guess. I don't know for sure, but I would guess.
Yeah. I think it's Woody Marks is the play tonight, guys. I think that's where my head's at right now is if I'm building these 1-1-3-1s and I get stuck with my pants down, take a slight ownership discount and on Woody Marks versus Chubb and then and take it. Woody Marks won't be drafted 100% of the time. Anyone else you want to shout out at wide receiver here?
No, not really. No one that I feel strongly about. I think tight end is the most interesting ADP tonight.
Okay. I think Tesla could be fun, dude. Just highest total, highest team total at home in the dome, direct leverage in the pass game off of all the pieces that go above him. Weirder things that happen than Tesla scoring a red zone touchdown, right?
Yeah, you're not wrong. I haven't checked his route participation, but I know he was out there for a while.
46%. The Khalif Raymond being banged up and then being on the injury report, and then I don't know if it's funneled into why he's not playing offensive snaps, but then he last 2 games has only played 1 or 2 offensive snaps, and it's kind of been Tesla as wide receiver 3 out there with a little uptick, 34% and 46%. I think if I'm scrolling that him, Hutchinson, and Tez Johnson feel like my 3 favorite at the back end.
Yeah, I like Tez for sure.
Okay, cool. Tight end position, dude. Yeah, you were talking about Laporta. This is Laporta definitely stands out, and he definitely stands out from a projection standpoint, but it's not like a, Trey McBride situation. It's not like a crazy Vorp situation because the ball does get spread around so much by the Lions that it's easy that Laporta could be the highest scorer on the slate, but it's also conceivable that he could do what he did the first 4 weeks actually, if you draw the sample back out, of 4 or 5 fantasy points, and he doesn't separate. Are you playing Laporta to separate on the slate?
I do have a pretty bullish rank on Laporta.
Okay.
Given his results and the spot, I'm pretty high on Laporta. Yeah.
Okay.
But I am playing 2 tight ends if I get it as well.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I think Dalton Schultz, man. I think Dalton Schultz and K. Dotton are tight ends 3 and 4. Shout out to AJ Barner and his game logs, but AJ Barner tight end 2 is a little crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, I fully agree with you, man. AJ Barner on last night's 3-game slate was tight end 6 or something like that, and all these guys were going ahead. Cade Otton was like tight end 2 last night ahead of Kyle Pitts on that slate. It was, tight end 3, and he was ahead of Kyle Pitts on last night's slate. Like, yeah, I just Cade Otton. If you get no Igbuka, I'm just gonna keep buying the usage, right?
Yeah, and just like the spot too. Yeah, I mean, Barner and Arroyo are still splitting routes pretty much. Like Barner has the edge, but they're not too far off.
Yeah. Good point from J-Habs here. Kind of evergreen when you guys are looking at the pick'em lobbies that like this time of day before inactives come out, there's just going to be a natural hedge at all times where it's like not going to be an inviting price tag until absolute information is known, and then they'll flip the price tag kind of thing. So like Cade with the best touchdown prop, like that's baking it in. Igbuka sits tonight, but it's also Underdog like hedging themselves right now that it's like we don't want a ton of money to come in on Cade right now, so we're going to price it like so it doesn't come in, and then we'll adjust when the information is known, and they'll either be correct or they'll be Igbuka's in, and then they'll give you like a slightly better price on it.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even if you look at like some of the ETR stuff and whatnot, they kind of think it is Laporta in a tier by himself, Schultz and Auden, as you said, then Barner by himself, and then it's kind of like you're just playing whack-a-mole anyways after that. But in all fairness, like look no further than the last Primetime Palooza slate where everybody forgot about Pat Freiermuth, right? They were like, hey, This is the corpse of Pat Freiermuth. Nobody cares about him. And what's he do? He comes out and scores like a 80-yard touchdown. He scores 2 touchdowns in the game. And it's just like, we didn't even know that guy had that in his bag. Like if Brock Wright found the end zone twice on weird design plays tonight, like I wouldn't be shocked. Like if all of a sudden we're talking post-buy rookie bumps for all these other guys, but like if Elijah Arroyo decides to be like, oh yeah, this is the first night they're going to give him like 10 extra snaps as kind of like the X that they talked about him being in preseason, of course, why not, right?
Yeah. If you are locked out at tight end, by the way, I do think it's Arroyo over Brock Wright.
Okay, yeah, I think it's a good shout.
Yeah, that is how I'm playing it at least.
Cool. Let's hop in, Nez, and see what it looks like here. We got the Monday Night Palooza. We got the DeBomb. We got the Dive. How full are we here right now? We are 69% nice filled. As you guys can see, I'm using Solver right now. This is the new update, guys, in this bottom left-hand corner that helped our guy GSD4 cook this week. Probably about 20K in winnings in the BR slate there, winning the DeBomb, winning another one of the side contests. Which other contest did he win? Third and long, maybe?
Second and third and long.
Yeah.
And then just a bunch of awesome finishes and everything else.
Yeah. But right here, guys, you click the solver button in the bottom left corner. Reminder that you do have to update your app. So if you go click the extensions, let me do it for you guys. If you click manage your extensions here, and you see this, you turn this right-hand side thing, this developer mode, you turn that on, then you click update right here. It'll update everything, and you will get the newest iteration of the solver. And then that allows you this little badge in the bottom left corner here to click this one and bring it up. And you can see your exposures and then your combos relative to set exposures. This is a very cool tool for Primetime Paloozas. It's very cool for everything, but for just tracking your Primetime Paloozas, because we know it's such a combo overlapping game, this is very, very cool to experiment with.
Yeah, this is like next level, man.
Yeah. Very cool for what the future of NBA could look like too. And clearly some players having some big time success on the site. As you guys heard, I had that noise on. I'll turn the noise off now that we are streaming, but I was drafting with the noise on earlier. Nez, is there any way we can do anything other than Nico and Rashad White here? It's going to be a combo that's replicated over and over again. Should we think about doing something else?
I mean, if you want to get different off the rip, you can do Nico and Mike Evans.
Let's do it. As you guys can see, the solver has the ETR projections in, and they currently have Igbuka out, which means Mike Evans is getting a boost in their projections, which means this might become more of the norm later in the day if we get Igbuka ruled out 90 minutes before kick.
Yeah, good shout.
Guys, 350 of us hanging out. Hit that like, subscribe, notification bell. We're going to be running NBA tomorrow with Justin Pham. It's going to be awesome. Tip off 2-game slate to start the season there. And then, check out the good people at the Solver. Check out the good people at Unabated.
Charger giving up a Rashad White Gibbs start. Not our fault. It's Charger's fault.
There you go. Tyler's doing the Amon-Ra as the 101. We're going to get left with CJ Stroud, which is fine because we got Nico on this team. But just knowing that now, Nez, we don't have to take a quarterback. We could go Ken Walker here.
Definitely.
We could do, Ken Walker's a tier break guy for you.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
And
Jameson Williams is.
Yep, I was going to suggest Jameson Williams. Probably don't want to double the Bucks without Baker if we can help it.
All right, sounds good to me. A little bit of a chalky start, but kind of falling in line with some funky stuff in the room here where Demont goes first and then the quarterbacks get pushed up because this guy didn't want to get left with CJ. So we're going to be left with CJ. I guess the question becomes, Nez, this combo of these, 3 players together, it looks really strong on paper. It might be something that's duped, a couple times in this contest for sure, especially when you're the team that gets left with CJ. Does that mean that you want to be the guy who double stacks CJ here if we get Schultz back? Do you want to differentiate with a scroll at the tight end? Just thoughts on how you would personally play this.
I mean, you gotta chalk it up, bro.
Yeah,
we get Schultz and Stroud back. That's like the ultimate. Like okay. you're not going Arroyo there, like
right. Yeah,
you got like Schultz was a gift there. Like this is an awesome team.
All right. Sounds good. I'm not going to watch that one finish. We're just going to hop in yet again here. Maybe do, what do we think here? Who wants to pony up for a DeBomb?
Oh, let's go.
Let's make it move a little bit. One more spot and then a bomb here.
I love it.
Pony up for the $100 price point to make me feel alive because after yesterday's sweat and after the Mariners losing, I'm a little bit dead inside this morning. I was glad that Nez and Awen were here. The community showed out in such a large way to lift my spirits, Nez. I hope we get a big outing from Kirby this evening.
Yeah. Big George on the mound. Bieber on the other side there. How are you feeling about like Bieber from a Bieber standpoint? You scared?
I'm a little scared of the way he pitched last time. Like, yeah, I thought he pitched quite well. But yeah, I mean, it's all hands on deck for them tonight, which I think the way you beat them is attacking their bullpen. And I don't think they're going to show us their bullpen tonight. I think it's going to be Bieber, Gosman, and then Scherzer if they got to go there. So I think the most gettable is Bieber, and it's because he doesn't feature the split, and they've been swinging all over the place at the split and the slider off the zone. But I don't know, man. I'm really scared of that. I'm really scared of that lineup and the fact that they don't strike out all that much.
What were your thoughts about the way that Gilbert was handled yesterday? Do you think that was the right move to just leave him in?
Dude, I was fine with it, man. Like Gilbert, dude, like I tweeted about it where it was like the sequence that blew up the game was they get out of the, well, first of all, there's the error that loads the bases from Gino. There's an error, there's an infield single, and then there's, a base hit, right? And they go up 2, and then they get out of it with like Gino with the diving stop in the second inning, right? And it's like, okay, here we go. Then the Mariners load the bases. Cal hits into a double play on the first pitch, even though Savage couldn't fucking find it. And he just swings at the first pitch, which, it's Cal, whatever. I'll go ahead and take JSN here.
Yeah.
All right.
You said I didn't realize that the Mariners hit into a double play yesterday.
Yeah, they hit into a couple.
Didn't
So
know.
they hit it. They hit into the double play with the bases loaded, and then Logan comes back out and strikes out 2 and gets the top of the inning on like a low pitch count. And then Ernie Clement hits a triple with 2 strikes off the wall, or with 1 strike off the wall, and then Barger just homers, and it's like, holy fuck! Like in 10 or 12 pitches, the whole
Yeah.
game flipped. Man, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Nez, I want to take Mike Evans here.
I think you should.
All right, let's do it. We got JSN Mike Evans start here. As you guys can see, I can't afford the $100 subscription. Apparently, I didn't even realize that because I haven't been using it for the bombs, and then maybe that's why I went 0 for 5 on the bombs. I was phone shitter broing the bombs on Sunday morning. I've been using the solver for primarily my dog bulls and my 6 persons when I'm hanging out on the computer. But Sunday morning, I phone shitter bro it up in the bomb lobbies. And I didn't realize my subscription wasn't covering it. I gotta pony up for the next level here.
Huh, that's funny.
Baker comes back to us if we want. The guy on the end already has 1 running back, so he can't take both from us. I think I want to take Baker with Evans. I guess
this Baker fall is nice.
Yeah, I think you can make the case that, like, hey, I like Walker so much more than David Montgomery that you take Walker first. But we still got 2 running back spots open.
Yeah, I think Baker's the move there.
Yeah, Nez poking the bear. How do I turn up the color scheme? It's on the right-hand side of that options menu there, and it is option number 2. It says display solver scores is the first option at the very bottom of the right-hand side. And then the second option is color-coded player cells. So I could, I'll show you in a half second here once we're done this draft. But it's pretty self-explanatory. It's a tick box option on the bottom right. I do think David Montgomery is the tier break, and it's a nice bring back off of our kind of like GM start here, Nez. I think our scroll is going to be for our flex position.
Yeah. I think I do worry about these tight ends going, but I think you go Montgomery and Prey. Okay,
yeah,
cool. We're gonna at least get 1 back.
Yeah, we'll be fine there. I think people are hesitant to do the double tight end stuff just because it doesn't project that well tonight. I think guys would rather take a shot at trying. Fuck, there goes my scroll. Spartan's all over it. He goes with the Woody Marks one there. I was really hoping Woody Marks was going to be our last pick here.
Let's see what Maggi does. He might go straight for. I doubt it. That Sterling Shepard pick is interesting from Ben St. Nick.
Mm-hmm.
He goes off.
Damn,
that sucks.
Yeah,
that's. I think I'm Schultz here.
Okay, I'm good with it. Does it matter to you, like, if we hypothetically our next pick is going to be like Chubb or something? Does it matter to you, the negative correlation, or you're just like whatever?
No, not at all. Not at all. I think Schultz and Chubb is like a pretty nice run out for a bomb here. Like, this is a really nice team, man.
Okay, and we like Nick Chubb more than like taking a swing on like winning the contest with Tez Johnson as the scroll.
So that's a good point. I do think that you do just kind of jam the best play with Nick Chubb there.
Mm-hmm.
But Tez is definitely interesting on this team.
Tez is definitely the if then statement of Igbuka, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's never going to project better. I mean, his utilization score was only 22.
Yeah, I think he just like played Chubb.
All right. Yeah, I really wanted Spartan is in agreement with us on the Woody Marks stuff because he takes Woody Marks at 17. We get a pretty sharp room here with 4 good players on the site with red badges and
yeah.
Give me the Tez ceiling. I mean, people are a lot of like excited about Tez. The Tez dispenser. Like, people are excited to play
Tez dispenser.
People are a little frothy to play Tez, man.
Yeah, and like he's cool, dude. But I don't know that we gotta be amped. I mean, shit, man. When you call him the Tez dispenser, I mean, maybe I gotta adjust my ranks a little bit as well. It's pretty
Nice.
sweet. It's pretty sweet.
Just for context, like last week, Sean Tucker played 23% of the snaps. That was good for 12 snaps. He went in the end zone. Igbuka played 53% of the snaps. Then once he was out of the game, also no Mike Evans last week, obviously, right? Tez played 72% of the snaps. The week before, when Igbuka was in there and Mike Evans was out, and they were like a little bit of a garbage time, that week 5 win, I believe. Let me check that again, though. The week 5 Seattle game, 38 points back and forth, tons of offensive plays run, and that sort of thing. They used 6 wide receivers that week. Here, I'll show you guys. Igbuka played 58. Shepard played 41. Tez played 36. Godwin was in there and played 77. And then they had like 11 and 15 for Ryan Miller. Saw an uptick in Cameron Johnson, and he scored a touchdown. But Tez was the biggest benefactor of no Godwin, no Evans. This will be the first iteration where we could potentially see no Igbuka, right? So, like, I don't know what we talk about in overlapping roles and that sort of thing. But my bro science, like mind, Nez, goes to, I saw Tez Johnson with a deeper A dot running those deeper routes when Igbuka was gone. And he had that deep touchdown that, like, the winning over the top big splash play stuff is Tez, not Cameron.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but if it's between those two, I do like Tez.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I knew who Tez was going into the year. Did not know who Cameron Johnson was coming into the year.
Okay. I mean, that's a good litmus test, right? Guys, we got 350 of us still hanging out on a Monday. Big shout outs to the community there. No basketball today. We're going to save it all for tomorrow there. I know I kind of teased maybe we would do a double dribble. I'm going to check in. 93.8% in the double dribble. I've done 26 of them. I'm going to make sure I get to 30 this evening in there. Lots of moving pieces there. Too much to talk through right now, and too much of a show that's already been 2 hours. Let's rip one last primetime Palooza, get funky with it, hopefully, and then call it a show.
All right. Is the winner going to be in this room?
Yeah, somebody else is going to have it.
Yeah.
Car Park's about to draft the winner, guys. Get ready to watch.
I cannot let you do this.
Oh, good shit. Also, some pick'em stuff if you want to play that one, Nez. Oh, get you Mr. Good Boys in the chat. He knows what time it is. Yeah, any stuff in the pick'em lobby that was popping to you? I'll hop over to the unabated stuff real quick. We might be able to rip a pick'em too here.
I got on the hour. I have to make my departure, but
yeah, we can do this all in one step. This draft will take 4 minutes. First time on the app, bro. Let me get rid of MLB right quick. Baker Mayfield passing yards showing a bit of a spike on the unabated stuff right now. Xavier Hudson passing yards. Some Woody Marks lowers. Honestly, nothing really showing big edges right now for the base stuff.
Yeah.
I'll have to put in some other projections and run my own stuff. But base stuff right now, kind of only Baker on the higher by the looks of it. Oh, Ramsey Perry asking, how about an NBA masterclass? Now that could be a concept. That could be an idea.
Huh. I'll have to think about that.
Yeah, I'll give it some thought. Nez, what do you like, JSN or Amon-Ra St. Brown? Let's flippy.
Let's do an Amon-Ra.
Yeah. Let's flippy the builds here. Let's have some fun.
So I was doing my part yesterday to save Numi's job and draft the PTP. I was, getting ready to to shower, not to be TMI, and then I was like, oh, I should draft. So I entered like 150, no plane, just so I could like get in, get out, and like make some adjustments as needed. 58% Ibuka.
Oh wow.
46% JSN, but the best part, 44% CMC, because
Well done, dude.
I don't know if you heard, he didn't project as well as Bijan Robinson, but
it was a bit crazy of a fallacy last night where I do tend to align with the projections a little bit on that idea, just given how banged up and how hurt. I thought they'd be Darnell Mooney coming back. I didn't, as admittedly, I only watched the highlights from that game because I was watching the baseball game. But like, I thought they were going to be able to move the football a little bit better against that. I mean, this is maybe just a hat tip to Robert Saleh and his ability to coach. Like, man, I thought they were going to be able to move the ball a lot better against a team that was missing Bosa and Warner and one other guy as well. Like, yeah,
dude. I'm cool with Evans here. Yeah, the Niners are just playing really well. One of my buddies asked me about like a future on the Niners, and I was like, I don't think so, man. They're just so banged up, and like, losing Fred, like how are they going to make it work? And then they're like out here like just shitting on teams, bro. Like I think that they might be a good bet.
Nez, should we prioritize the tight end position this time with Sam Laporta? Should we prioritize Goff, just given the fact that Baker's already gone? What do you think?
This is your funky lineup, so get funky.
Let's take Goff and see what happens here.
Okay.
Because I got some ideas, baby. I got some ideas.
Yeah, I want to see what you can do. Car Park believes in Ibuka.
Yep. Car Park taking Ibuka at 9 there.
I have a lot of
who amongst us hasn't drafted from the shower before? I literally made my last 2 double dribble picks right before this from the shower. Like just reached out, like bang.
Outside.
I finally got I have to sound the alarms, guys. I finally got a Joker team. I finally got a 101.
Wow.
My first 101. I was thrilled. I got a Joker team. And you know what I did, Nez? I scrolled the fuck down in the second round and I put Ja Morant and LaMelo Ball on that team with Joker.
Just trying to carry some low-end pieces because those guys are going to play like 30 games this year.
Just so sick. I was like, my guards room, and I took DeJounte later. I was like, my guards room is going to play 8 games.
Have to take DeJounte in those.
Okay. Woody Marks is next up. Skeleton Key, post-rookie bump, getting back to that 20-point trailing game script tonight, maybe, or at least tight competitive ball game. Here we go.
All right.
This is funny. Double tight end drafter just sent me to the Arroyo shadow realm. That's funny, Chad. Hey, if you guys did see, Chad's been on the program with us for Winter Circle, but he was on with Pete the other night for the After Dark. Great stuff there. Okay. I think we addressed the tight end position here, and we take Cade Otton. We're playing a little bit of game environment here because I don't want to get caught with no tight end. So we got Goff, we got Woody Marks, we got Amon-Ra St. Brown, we got Mike Evans, and we got Cade Otton. There is one remaining flex player to be drafted, and then we could speak freely.
I think I know where you're going.
All right. We'll let you play the guessing game here and see if I can cook.
Last thing I want to say about the PTP that's concluding tonight, the 3-gamer. I was so close to having like ultra leverage. I mean, I do have good leverage, but I have 30% Darnell Mooney. He came in at 11% drafted, and they like missed on like 2 deep balls at the end of that game. I don't know if you saw that in your highlight run, but Mooney. Yeah, Mooney he dropped it too, which was like a bummer. That would have really helped those Mooney teams. But
Mooney 11% on a PTP 3-gamer with a Q tag. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy. I actually didn't even look at it. I did what you did. I was having some pints with the boys watching the end of those games, getting ready for Mariners game. What, you wanted the Sharps fall?
That was a hell of a fall.
Well, we weren't going to take it anyways, Nez, because we're scrolling the F down to Isaac Tesla. He's going to do his best impression of one of these 1-12-1, and you're only going to need 8 fantasy points from your flex position. He scores a 21-yard touchdown tonight. Isaac Tesla in the double stack versus the pass funnel that is the Bucks.
Yep, that was written in the stars.
He kind of looks like every time I look at this picture with like the fuzzy hair and like the band and stuff like that, like he kind of looks like he's got like 80s Jerry curl. He looks like the bad guy from Stranger Things.
Yeah, he does.
That's all I ever think about.
Good comp.
Thank you. Comp guy strikes again. Yeah. Here we go. This kid. Bad kid. Stranger Things bad kid. And like this one comes up right here. Yo, Isaac Tesla.
Billy.
Billy. That was his name?
It's all on the screen. Billy Hargrove.
First piece of pop culture, John C.
Of course, John knows Stranger Things. Like the most base level pop culture thing there is.
Nez, did you find anything that piqued your interest in the pick'em lobbies, or are we just gonna call it on the drafts?
I only like boring shit.
Okay.
So we can put one together.
Okay. Jumping back over here. Oh, we still got the one from Off and On the Clock there. Shout out Justin for the $100 donation on Off and On the Clock there. Right. And I promptly spent said $100 on that pick'em, he told us. There we go. Get these ones out of here. Ramondre. That was another one that you guys were right about this weekend. Yeah, anything that was floating your boat here, dude?
Yeah, I like a lower on Montgomery rushing yards.
Okay.
Everything we talked about, the matchup, how this game I think is going to go. I don't think it's going to come on the back of David Montgomery.
Okay, respect it.
Ayo.
And do we like the Baker passing yards one?
Yeah, we do.
Okay. And anything else that you were interested in?
Yeah, I like Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Cool.
I would play that.
Hey, it looks like they fixed the pick'em lobby. This is great.
Yeah. On mobile too, it's a lot better.
Fuck yeah, nice. Boys are back.
I would probably play JSN. I think receiving yards.
All right. Sounds good to me. Click your prize picks. See if you got our prize box.
Whoa!
Fuck!
It's over.
Censor it. Where's Lou Dog? Lou Dog, be our producer for a minute. Fix it for us.
We're just kidding.
Press the prize box and see if you guys got anything. I saw Pete shared a couple in the Discord, so I already used it on that. So I went ahead and used that. Maybe we'll do a Mariners Homer one. Actually, you got to play one from the other side, so we have to play a lower from the other side. But yeah, that's a fun one there that Nez cooked up here. Little 50 smackaroonies on there. I kind of want to see what the price is for a. I kind of want to see what the price is here for Sean Tucker to score a touchdown.
It's probably
Two,
very
three,
nice for you.
three. It's not crazy, you know. Okay, let's have a little fun here. 23x, Sean Tucker on one side, Tesla on the other one. Small unit. I think it's definitely range of outcomes if that game plays to the spread and the total, that you get a funky touchdown to one of these two, if not both of them. Not financial advice, just kind of like a gut take on what's going down on this evening slate. The last one I could potentially do here, I just want to take a little look at the Mariners. Actually, you know what my buddy has been doing? He's actually my brother-in-law, but he's also one of my best friends, is we've watched a bunch of these games together, and he calls calzone, and he takes the lower on the fantasy points every single day and every single game on calzone. He's like, this guy fucking sucks. He can't hit. He just swings and he either strikes out or hits it right to the second baseman, and then he celebrates every time. It's so funny. So that is the one lower in which we're supporting.
I don't think he has a fantasy points today.
Yeah, there you go. It was 6.5 for so long, and now they finally just given up on the fact that Canzone can't hit. Yeah. Anyways, I'll mess around with this later and share something in the Discord. Vladdy fantasy points not on my watch, Beastburf, not on my watch. This is a true to the blue household here. We're not playing that smoke. All right, Nez, call it a show here. Fun pick'em there. Start of NBA tomorrow, guys. Gonna be awesome. Check out the solver, link in the bio below. They will be supporting NBA. Hopefully, as it'll be ready to go and good to go for start of tip tomorrow. But I believe that is the trajectory of the program here. So that combo mapping stuff is gonna be very important for both our PTP this evening, but also in the future for NBA. Check out Unabated there. I dropped the pricing and dropped the link in there. Link is also in the bio below there. Truly one of the best NBA products on the market. They absolutely killed it in the props last year. They also have a custom Discord where you get the news notifications and updates. They have projections. They have conditional projections based on the Q tags. And they also have 3 shows a week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday featuring fam there. JBB, we'll be talking about it all the time. So, we'll talk about it tomorrow there. Appreciate you guys rolling through. Hit the like, subscribe, notification bell. Anything else from Nez?
No, I will see you guys in the lobbies. Best of luck in the PTP tonight. See you tomorrow. NBA is back. Praise the effing Lord. Amen.
Hey, you're gonna be clamoring for some football tomorrow after you ship this PTP three game slate with all that CMC, you sick bastard. All right, everybody's favorite Tyler show. The end. Peace.